it's Jen for Hip Kit Club, and today I am creating a layout using the November kits. Today I thought I would focus on the kind of winter floral package that came, I think, in the embellishment kit, and I'm going to make a wreath on this background. It's called White Christmas, and I thought that would be a fun way to use it, and it already has a circle on there for me, so it just seems meant to be. I have a few photos of my nephews when they came over to give us Christmas presents early in 2017, so I'm going to use those, and I don't know if I'll use all three of them, but I have them, and that's where I'm starting, so I'll talk you through the process.
Alright, so I'm going to cut off the branding strip on the bottom because I find that it always kind of messes me up if I don't do it. And now I'm just going to take all of these florals, and I'm taking the ones that kind of have a curve to them already and that are a little bit larger, and I'm kind of placing them around on the circle just to give myself kind of a starting point, and then I'll fill in the spaces between them. So at this point, I'm just kind of laying them down, not gluing anything yet, but I feel like I could have just glued as I went. I don't know if you guys, if you're one of those people who has to glue as you go, or if you lay everything out and then finally glue it down. One trick that I've used a lot in card making, but I haven't used it as much in scrapbooking, is if you get some Glad press and seal. Once you get everything down where you want it, you can lay the press and seal over the top of everything that you've laid out, and then pick it all up with the press and seal, and then put glue on the back and put it right back onto your layout, and it is just so easy to do it that way. You could do the same thing with washi tape if it's just a small area, but the press and seal is nice because you can see through it really well. Anyway, at this point I've started gluing things down, and I've decided that I'm going to have a few flowers. So you can see most of the pieces have a white outline on them, but there are some flowers that don't have a white outline, and those flowers I'm going to kind of sprinkle in here and there to fill in some spaces, and I'm going to pop those up on some thin foam squares. So that's what you see me doing there, and I'm kind of ruffling up the edges a little bit on those flower petals. And you're gonna notice too that this is a little bit wonky. It's not exactly circular, so after I get kind of the main part of this glued down, I'll add things and rearrange things just a little bit to make it so that it feels a little more circular, but having that circle on the background to start with really helps. So right now that bottom part, the bottom left, is what's kind of throwing things off, and I'll fix that here after I get most of these pieces kind of in place where I want them. I did decide to add in those little orange flowers because there's an orange flower in the cluster on the bottom left, and so I thought that would look nice. And now I am finding all of the rest of these little pieces that I can fill in with and trying to see where I need a little bit of something extra. I'm struggling with that part on the bottom, trying to figure out what should go there, and I pulled in a few other die cuts to see what would work, but I end up switching out the pieces that I had in there for this little poinsettia piece that kind of rounds it out a little bit more, and it looks so much better. So I was happy with that. And here I'm just trying to fill in, there's a couple other little spaces, so I take some of the black and white leaves, and I'm going to fill in with those. Some of them are holly leaves, and some of them are like little sprigs of leaves, and I'm going to use both kinds, and I'm pretty happy with the way that it's looking now. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of play with my photos and see how I want to do this. I do like the idea of my photos kind of resting underneath the flowers, and so I have them sitting there. They're not glued down or anything, but I'm going to work on my title while I just look at those sitting there. So I wanted there to be something about joy and giving, because these photos are pictures of my nephews dancing around. They were so excited. My sister let them pick out presents for us at the dollar store, whatever they wanted. They got to pick us each out 2 things, I think. And it was the cutest thing ever. They gave us the most random gifts, but it was so sweet. They were so happy and excited to give us the stuff that they were dancing around, and it was adorable. So I have the actual gifts documented in my December daily from 2017, but I wanted to talk about on this layout more of like how it's good to have that reminder of how much joy there can be in giving. And so that's what I'm focusing on here. So I used the white alphas from the main kit for the word giving, and then I stamped the word joy. And then I'm going to find some little pieces to create the rest of my title. So on the chipboard, there was the word celebrate, and I thought that looked nice. And so now I just need to find the and of. And so I thought I would look through my 3x4 cards to see if there were any words that said the and of. And luckily, I found this one that said the most wonderful time of the year. And I just cut off the words the and of. I can use the rest of that card for something else. I plan to use those on layouts and cut them up anyway, so it didn't bother me to cut that up. And this way I know I'm using it, right? So it works out. And I'm going to use that for the rest of my title. So I decided to cut my photos down a little bit. I just cut, I think, 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch from each side on those. And so they're just a little bit smaller than 3x4, so they'll fit in that space a little bit more. And I wanted to add a white border so they would stand out a little bit. And so I just, that's what I was doing there. And now I'm going to find a way to place these. When I have two photos that I want to kind of place together, I put adhesive on both of them and then kind of hold them together and place them down together. And so I kind of layered them underneath the places where I wanted them to be layered. And now I'm adding my title, and the bottom of my title is going to rest on the photos. And I love overlapping things onto my photos. I feel like it just helps bring everything together. But of course, I know some people aren't into that and they don't want to put anything on their photos. And if you're one of those people, then you can definitely just do a shorter title or give yourself a little more room at the top. So here I'm just cutting those words the and of a little bit better and sticking them next to the word joy. And the word the kind of nestles in where the J curves up, which I liked. And because the cardstock that I mounted my photos to was pretty thick, these letters stuck up quite a bit. And so I'm just using a little bit of foam adhesive on the tops of them so that they rest at the same height as the bottom of the letters, which are on the photos. So I'm really happy with the way that the title turned out. And now I'm going to type up my journaling. So I just used my typewriter and typed up a few lines of journaling about how it was so great that they were so excited to give us these gifts, and what a great reminder for me to find joy in the giving. And I'm just placing that kind of in the center of the photos, just continuing, since I put the title in the top center, it makes sense to put the journaling in the bottom center. Plus there's a little space there that I wanted to fill in. So that works out perfectly. And I'm just going to use some Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine line bottle to glue that down. I know lately I have been using my Nuvo adhesive, but it was upstairs since I have all my December daily stuff out upstairs, and I just was too lazy to go get it. So yeah, I'm trying to finish up my 2017 December daily, and keeping it out on the kitchen table has been helping me do that. And my daughter's been working on stuff with me too, so that's fun. So I'm just stamping the date on the left there, just stamping December 2017. And now I'm going to embellish a little bit more. So I wanted to add a few more things to the wreath to just give it some dimension. You could definitely stop there before embellishing, and it looks nice and full and pretty, but I just wanted to add more stuff. So I'm adding these 3 chipboard hearts And in the end, I don't like it, so I'll switch those out. But for now, they're going to stay there. And I'm adding in some little word phrase stickers. So some of them are puffy. Some, I think one of them was from the chipboard sheet. Some of them are from the leather, like the faux leather sticker sheet. And then some of them are like the regular stickers. So I'm just pulling from everything that I've got here. I do have all the kits, but you could definitely just pull whatever you have to add little bits and pieces here and there. You could do embellishments, like you could do little like hearts and stars and candy canes all around the wreath instead of doing words. I just liked the way that the words added a little something. And then I remembered about these bows again that came in the main kit, and I thought a bow is the perfect thing to add to a wreath. So I'm going to add one to the top of my layout above the title, and I think that looks really cute. So just going to add that up there. And then I'm almost done, but I decide that I want a little something more. So I'm going to add these little dots that are on the puffy stickers, and I'm just adding them in some open spaces, and it just brings another little touch of something to the layout. So very, very simple. Now I'm going to play around with where I had added those hearts that I didn't like, and I decided on the leatherette sticker sheet there are two little peppermint candies, and they fit there perfectly. So that's what I'm going to end up putting, just one on each side, and I'm really happy with the way that turns out. So that is all. I have added lots of close-up photos for you to check out here. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't checked out the Hip Kit Club kits, they are gorgeous. The December kits have just been revealed, and they are gorgeous as well. So be sure to head over to hipkitclub.net to find out more information. I will link to that in the video description. At the end here are a couple other videos that you might enjoy. Thank you so much again for watching. If you're not a subscriber, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button to see more videos from me. And I hope you have a happy holiday season.